So I've got this. Okay, so this is another cut apart sheet. I'm not sure it's from the same collection. I'm not 100% sure. So what I want to do is I want to kind of earmark anything on here that I think can be used as added embellishing. So I think this, and I think maybe the coffee cup, and I think we can turn this into a frame by taking this all out, but then turning that maybe into a piece of ephemera, cutting this around this to turn it into a title. So let's start with this one. We've got a full branding strip as well, so let's get that branding strip off. There we go. And then, as I said, I'm going to cut these in half, just so it's easier to store in my little tub. Okay, so we have this one first of all. So I'm going to use my trimmer to trim out the inner part of this. And then this is actually going to create a frame and an added embellishment. But actually what I'm thinking of doing is just making this added embellishment go on the frame rather than in it. So what I mean by that is I've now got my frame, and what I'm going to do, actually I'll use my trimmer because I want this bit nice and straight, is I could use that on its own as well, but I'm thinking maybe fussy cutting this out, giving it a little bit of a halo as I cut around. It just makes the fussy cutting look a little cleaner. There we go. And then I'm thinking maybe, where's my little, putting a foam dot, popping that up on there, and maybe I could cut this down like this, trim this down this way, and then making this into a little fishtail banner, and then popping that back on, because that definitely looks more interesting as an embellishment piece than the frame that it originally was. So maybe I'll pop that up as well, do it this way so I can tuck that underneath the little backpack. Okay, there we go. So I've just taken that frame and just repurposed it to cut the inside out, added the backpack and the little sentiment on just with a little fishtail and some foam dots. And now I've got a better looking embellishment than what it was before. So we're going to pop that in to here. There we go. Oh, I want to be able to see it so I remember it's there. Okay, cool. So that's that done. Then, as I said, I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to have this as a title. So and this one here, I think I'm going to fussy cut that little cup out as an added piece of ephemera. So let's go ahead and do that. And I will leave, again, a little halo around this. It's got a pink background, but that's okay. And if when I come to use it, it doesn't look good, then I can just trim out the pink background. There we are. So just pop that in there. This one here, I'm just going to follow around here. Oh, following the line of the text, and this is then going to It'd be great to use as a title when if I've got nothing else left, or I just want to use it as a subtitle. There we are. Like a piece of ephemera. So I'm going to pop that in. Okay, next up, I'm going to tackle this sheet here. Just for continuity purposes, in case the video looks any different. This isn't filmed on the same day. I had to take a break. Got interrupted when I was filming the first part. So this one here is the just the cut apart from the, can't remember what collection this was now. I've taken the branding strip off. So what I'm going to do is cut these apart, obviously. You could use the other side as a background paper, but I for sure want to make these into elements that I can use as embellishments on my page. So I have 3 little taxis, and then I have this little itinerary, my trip itinerary, which I think I'm going to keep. I think that's a 3x4 card, so I think I'm going to keep that. One other thing as well is on my desk, I have a few things lying around. This was a sample of a sample that I made for, I think the video's already up, for a DIY as to how to make these the folders. And then I just had this on my desk because it was just a bit of paper that I had in my paper stash that I used to make an example. This isn't centered at all. If it bothered me, I could move it over, but I thought, you know what, it's very like holiday travel theme, so I thought I'm just going to add it in to this pack of ephemera. So if you want to know how to make this, then I'll leave a card on the top of the screen right now for you to go and take a look, and I'll also leave it linked down below for you too. Okay, so I'm going to put this into piles of things that I'm going to do stuff with. So I think with the weather report one, I'm going to have these 2 are just 3x4 cards, so I'm just going to pop those in to the back there. And then this one here, I don't think I'm going to add any extra twine or anything. I'm just going to cut these tags down. I suppose just for speed in this video, if you're doing this with some bits and bobs that you've got and you want to commit to getting twine and that sort of things added on now, go for it. I've already done some with those tickets, with these ones where we did the stamping and the twine on those. But on these, I'm just going to trim out the corners just so they're ready to go, and I don't need to, I just need to punch a hole and pop some twine or thread or whatever else I want in. So those are just going to go in here as extra embellishments. And we've got this one. I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to pop that in there because I'm not doing anything with that one. This I pulled out of the pack. I'd already cut this up and put this in, but I'm going to do the same. I'm going to actually create this, make this into a frame as well. So I just pulled that out of the box. These 2 here I'm just going to keep as little 2x2 squares. And then the same as, the same here. So this is a 3x4 card. I'm just going to pop that in there. And then these 2 stamps, I've already got some cut up here, you see. So I'm just going to pop those in there. Actually, where are those little tags? So the ones that I've cut from the cut apart sheet, I'm just going to add those all together in there. Okay, so the last few things that I want to do with these, I'm going to make these little 3x4s into little ephemera pieces instead of having it as a little 2x2 cut apart. There we go, cute little taxi to use as an embellishment. So I'll pop that in with the ephemera at the back there, and then I'll do the other two off camera, so just to speed this process up. Then we have this one here, so I'll grab my trimmer. So I'm going to do the same as what I did on the other one and just take out this center, and I'll keep it because obviously I can use that as a separate embellishment on its own. Let's trim that all the way down. There we go. And all the way across. There we go. So we have a frame and an extra piece of ephemera that we can use. I could do the same as what I've done on here and layer up some bits and bobs, so I could add on, but what I'm going to do is leave this blank so I can make that decision when it comes to actually using it, and then this will just go in as an extra piece of ephemera. This one here, I thought it'd be fun to make this into a little notebook. So I'm going to grab some, just for some hidden journaling, so I'm going to grab some plain paper. Okay, so I've just got some plain printer paper. I think this is 120 GSM. And what I'm going to do is actually trim this out. I don't know if it's actually square or not, but I'm going to trim this out because I want it to just look like that notebook shape. So I'm just going to trim it. And I'm just going to go straight across the top because I have not got the patience to be fussy cutting this in detail. Okay, so if I just go straight down like this, it should be nice and square then. Okay, so now what I want to do is bring my trimmer in. I don't want my papers to be any bigger because I want them to be hidden underneath. So if I line this up and bring this over, and I think I only want two bits. I'm just going to hide that underneath. Like that. And then one more. Like that. So this is going to give me a space to be able to create like a little notebook. So it's designed to look like a notebook. So I'm going to fold. I could use a scoreboard for this, but I'm just going to fold it like this. So I'm going to fold it so you can easily open it up to see the journaling. And then with my tape runner, I'm going to glue all of these together. So this one here, I'm just going to run some tape along the top, so you're able to open it. And then this one here, I'll just run some tape along where I've done that fold. Like this. And, oh, is that straight? Nope. Let's try that again. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just going to trim those corners so you don't see the white poking through. Like that. And then we have a little notebook where you can add some hidden journaling. Probably fold that one too. We can add some hidden journaling on a layout, so you can just stick it down like the notebook. I might run this through the sewing machine just to add some texture and also just to make sure that does stay stuck over time. So we have a little hidden journaling notebook that we can add on. I also had these left over from that same kit, And what I do find sometimes is I find it easier if they're not always on the backing sheets in order to get these used up. So I'm going to cut these down off the sheets as well, grouping anything that I can see, maybe the little circles in together, not worrying about moving them around on the sheet as well, because I could cut maybe a square where all of the little circle elements are. So I'm going to start moving these around on these sheets so they can be cut out and left on the backing sheet because they need to be. And then I can cut them up and pop them into the box, and then I'll just have the one box of ephemera to work with. So I'll pop some music on whilst I do this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is all of those now cut off the backing sheets, and it looks a lot more than what it did in there, but it does mean that I can now get all of this into my little box. Now, it might mean that I need to get a bigger box. Actually, what I could do is I could actually utilise this to store these in, and then when I'm working on using this, then I can just have a sift through my little chipboard or foam stickers, should I say, not chipboard anymore, my little foam stickers, to see what else I can use. I could just pop them in the box as well, but I think since I've got this here, actually I'll utilise it and pop these in, and then once I've got a little bit more room, I've started to use some of this, I'll then transfer it so I can actually see what exactly I've got left. So I'm just going to do that up very gently. So there we have a pocket full of the foam stickers. I did see this one, and this is why going through that pack of stickers is always helpful. I do not have cats, but my friend has a black cat, so whenever I see anything like this, I always keep it to one side to give her. And so yeah, I'm going to put that with a pile of stuff that I need to give her. And then I think the final thing is I had a look on my desk to see if there was anything else kind of lying around that I thought maybe I could just bring in and include. I mean, this doesn't need bulking out anymore, but look at it. I will choose some enamel dots to go with it, but I also like the fact actually that this is fairly portable. So if I want to take this away, and I probably will because I'm going to a retreat, then I could just pop this. I'd have to put all the bits into a bag and then decant it when I got the other side, but I can just move this, and I could just put it into like a really small little Ziploc bag and take it with me. But one of the other things I just had a look around my desk to see if there was anything else on my desk that I thought I could include, and I bought these, and I haven't actually used them yet. I bought them last year, and they are from Studio Light, and they are they're called DIY block, and they're different tickets. Well, this one's vintage tickets, this one's vintage postcards, and this one is vintage tags. So this one's got a very heavy travel themed with Paris, London, Moscow, Rome, I think, with these little tickets in, but then the backside are these suitcases, like vintage suitcases. So I thought what I would do is, I'm not going to sit and fussy cut these out now, but because I think there's like several of each, so there are 4 times 6 tag sheets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so there's 6 different designs. So you get 4 of each. So I thought I might just include them as something that I could fussy cut out when I'm working on things, rather than these pads just sitting there. These are great for little tuckies, so I'm going to pop those in my box as well. Next is the vintage postcards. I love these, especially for travel. So it looks like we get 4 of each again. So 1, 2, I think there's 6 different designs. So that's 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So I pop those in as well. And then these are vintage tickets. So I looked at these earlier, it's like oceanarium. So I know when I go away, one of the things that we tend to do quite a lot is go to occasionally we go to a sea life centre or something like that. There's like a bus ticket on there, so we'll add that in. Oh, safari park, we like going to the zoo, so add that in. Railway ticket, and then wild safari park ticket and a bus ticket above it. City racing track, well, I might give one of those to my friend as well because her kid is into all of that. And then ticket to travel, and I think that's it. Yeah, so I've just put 1 of each in from these blocks. That still leaves me 3 of each anyway, so I've got plenty to spare, and that's it. So this is my DIY ephemera from a leftover kit where I'd made the layouts from it, and I just had bits and bobs left, and also a few bits, like I said, that have been skirting around on my desk, and I just added it all together to make this you know, DIY embellishment kit, ready to kind of refresh it and start all again with it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I said, I know that previous videos of this nature seem to be of high interest, so I thought I'd film another. And if you have enjoyed the video, as always, if you could hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Drop any comments in that comment section down below, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye.